Hello, hello. Welcome to today's daily. It's a it's a doozy of a board, to be honest. It's quite a bit of heavily built up stuff you can do here. What is Order of Masons? Nice. We have the 5-2, which is quite good here. We'll probably open Sculptor Candlestick Maker. Okay, so anyway, there's like a big draw interaction here, which is Apprentice Fortress. So Fortress, when you trash it, you put it into your hand. Apprentice, when you trash a card, you get to draw a card per one it costs. So you trash the Fortress with Apprentice, you draw 4 cards. Fortress goes back into your hand, so you still can use the Fortress for a village effect. It's a very, very strong interaction. Then we have, there are actually several things going on here. So then we have Inventors, which we've seen before in the daily, but it lets you gain a card costing up to 4 and then reduces the cost of cards. This can allow you to gain a bunch of provinces at once, but also just lets you gain whatever other cards as well until you're ready to end the game by emptying the provinces. It goes well with playing lots of Inventors. It also goes well with just having plus buy, which we can get quite easily from some number of Candlestick Makers. Though we won't want a lot of Candlestick Makers just because they do not draw a card when we play them, so they're a little bit. But they don't take an action, so they're quite good. But you have to watch how many you add to the deck, because if you add too many, then you can get bad draws. Same goes for Inventor. Inventor's main advantage over Candlestick Maker, besides the cost lowering, is that when you gain cards as compared to buying them, you can sometimes draw that card you gained that turn and play it. We call that gaining and playing. It's a powerful thing that you can do in Dominion at time. And then the other thing that Inventor plays off of here is Sculptor, which is Sculptor gains a card to your hand costing up to 4. And if it's a treasure plus villager, if you play an Inventor, then the Sculptors cost 4 coins instead of 5. And that means that you can play a Sculptor, gain a Sculptor to your hand, play that Sculptor, gain a Sculptor to your hand, etc. for as many actions as you have available. So it's an effect that will allow us to either, if we want, rapidly gain a lot more Sculptors, or also we can just use it to gain the other nice things on this board, which will include, say, Apprentices or Fortresses, because we'll be able to gain Apprentices with Sculptor after we played an Inventor. And then the other nice card here is the Patron, potentially. I wouldn't expect to gain more than about 1 of these. There's an interaction with Patron as well, but probably not important. So Patron gives you Villagers, which are actions you can save. When you reveal it, you get a coffer, which for here is activated by Chariot Race. But it's not that important because you don't really need the coffers anyway. And Chariot Race, I mean, we could use Chariot Race if we fall behind on points, but I don't think there's a huge risk of that. Blah, blah, blah. What else is there? This is actually a fairly dense board, and I'm trying to kind of cover it all before I start. The other thing going on here is Tower, which when a supply pile is empty, people get points based on how many copies of that card they have. So that could be a thing here, certainly. And then Museum just gives you points for having a bunch of different cards, which we will probably do better than the bot, though we won't say capture everything. But anyway, I think I do like what I said earlier for the opening. I haven't changed my mind. Besides Sculptor, the thing to consider would be Apprentice on the opening. That's not a bad opening either, Apprentice Candlestick Maker. It's a bit of a question of how you want to prioritize trashing versus draw, or not trashing versus gaining. It's unclear to me. I'll go ahead and say that. It may be better to do the Apprentice right off the bat, frankly. But we'll just do what I said for the sake of it. We do have a nice thing going on here, which is that we can discard a bunch of these estates. with our favor. That's what Order of Masons lets us do. We get to shorten this shuffle a little bit. And we got a very lucky draw here because we can gain, because the Candlestick Maker and the Sculptor were drawn into the same hand, we can gain a Quarry. Quarry will make the action cards cost less, plus we have a plus buy here. So we can already go Apprentice, can pick whether we want to take a Chariot Race, a Fortress, or an Inventor, I would say are like pretty good options. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do the Inventor. Having done that here, now I could have known that this hand was going to have 4 cards. I'll go ahead and buy a Fortress. It's not unreasonable to take something else there, but my $5 hands, I'm pretty much always going to buy Apprentices for quite a while. Everything else can be gained various ways, but so the bot there got a patron hit with their Chariot Race, so they got some points in that. So the bot is also playing with chariots, which is interesting to me. I think for a while now I won't gain additional gainers, meaning I won't take Inventors or Sculptors. I'll just be taking Fortresses and Apprentices for a while here, just to try and get clean. And once I have better control of the deck, once we're drawing the deck, then we'll add more of the gainers. But for a while here, I think it'll just be Apprentices and Fortresses. The bot is, the bot is doing some of this stuff here, so it's not fully avoiding any of this stuff. So the question now is which order to play. We're going to play both of these. It's just whether we want to gain an Apprentice and not play it, or whether we want to just gain a couple Fortresses and churn around the deck a little bit. I went with that. I'm not, wouldn't say I was confident that that's the best way to do it, but it's certainly not unreasonable. The bot has already bought a duchy because I think it's, I don't actually know. I mean, it sometimes does plays like that in what would seem to be an attempt to get a points lead or something. Here we've hit Apprentice Fortress, so this turn's going to be quite big for us because we already have. We're going to be able to draw the deck, gain some Apprentices, gain a lot of cards, basically. I'm trying to think. We may just use... Let me see. I'm not sure. I kind of misplayed the order of this a little bit. I would like to just remove some coppers, honestly. But maybe we prioritize that, which means just taking Apprentices. We're just trying to get the copper count down a little bit. We could do more gain and play here of different stuff, but I just want to remove these coppers. And we can do some of the gain and play this next. Let's just focus on the consistency, which means Apprentice. The bot has purchased a curse, guess for museum. That's not gonna be the play, but I don't know if we'll have a win this turn. It's not, but we only have 3-4 gains, so we would have to chain the rest. I don't think we have enough. I think we have enough actions, so we wouldn't be a million miles off from it either. What do I want to do here? I think we can pick up some inventors or a mix of inventors and sculptors. It's not hugely important which at this point. Because we don't want to lower things so far that the bot can 3-pile, but I don't think it has gain in place, so I don't risk. But I won't lower this stuff any further at this point. Besides getting some fortresses as a prize. You can get and remove all of these coppers. I don't know. I mean, there's not really a risk of them catching us. We can take a couple provinces if we want. Not that that's useful, but you know what we maybe should have done? We could have gotten a guild master, which we still can. We just won't get very many favors out. We could have got a ton of favors, but we can like discard these cards that aren't good. Oh, treasure map. Yeah, that's gonna do it for sure. So I'm sure we can empty promises here, or empty 3 piles, whatever path strikes our fancy. Hardly at this stage it's not really oh, we didn't get all our we could have got so many favors. I forgot to do it. We just get some of this stuff. Yeah, I mean, this is just like, I talked at least a lot at the start. I don't know if I talked enough during to really explain all the choices, but the bot has one apprentice. I think that probably is telling most of the story here as far as why the bot can't really win. The big thing is just apprentice fortress. And then the gainers. And as long as you can do that kind of stuff, not going to lose the bot. But I had a pretty nice first shuffle that helped accelerate it, but you can get 27 tower points to the bot's 3. It's going to be pretty rough. So anyway, it was I think, quite interesting board to look at. I mean, I've seen stuff like this before, but still pretty interesting. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all another day. Oh, we gotta do, I always forget to, I gotta do the crowns. We're almost back to a week. We'll see if we can keep it going this time a little further, but find out.